Here is a story about integrity. The partnership was going through one of its down cycles. Business generally was tough, and the accounting business was feeling the pinch. The managing partner at the time was setting about his task: close control of costs, tighten spending, cut the dead wood, chop off a few heads, etc., and get the income up. Get the whips out and get those billable hours up. So it came about that there was a tremendous focus on billable hours. To add to the pressure, partners' productivity percentages were produced weekly and were circulated to every partner for scrutiny, and to see for themselves who's not performing. The effect was peer pressures and competition to get productivity up. This focus was not only at partner level. All levels of staff were being heavily monitored and so pressured. This, of course, brought temptation to fudge a little on your daily timesheet. If hours were a little low at the end of the day, a half hour here to this client, a half hour there to that client would easily do the trick. This sounds shocking, and perhaps it was done in more subtle ways, but the bottom line was that the clients could be billed for working hours that were not fully given. I can tell you everyone felt the pressure. With my productivity figures lower than many of my peers, I certainly felt the pressure. Having worked in close proximity to many partners whose work hours were not greater than mine, one couldn't help but wonder how their productivity levels could be much different. There had to be fudging. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't live with what was virtually cheating, padding one's billable time. Eventually, I confronted the powers to be and stated my position. I would only charge time to a client code if I had actually felt that I had given a full unit's worth of work, and my staff were instructed to do likewise. As I ponder over what I have written, what comes to me is a recollection of what St. Paul wrote in a letter to the Romans. He said, "In the depths of his conscience, man detects a law, which he does not impose on himself, but which holds him to obedience, always summoning him to love good and avoid evil. The voice of conscience can, when necessary, speak to his heart more specifically. Do this, shun that. For a man has in his heart a law written by God. To obey it is the very dignity of man. According to it he will be judged."